So, what can a samurai from 400 years ago teach us about, well, pretty much everything? We're diving into the legendary Miyamoto Musashi and his incredible work, The Book of Five Rings. Now, this was written as a guide to combat strategy, but trust me, its lessons on mastery are as relevant today as they were in feudal Japan. And it all kicks off with this simple but powerful idea. When Musashi says strategy, he's not just talking about a battle plan, not at all. For him, it's a craft, a total way of life. This isn't some dusty old theory, It's the real, practical, disciplined art of winning, whether you're facing an actual opponent or, maybe more importantly, a battle inside your own head.
Okay, and you've got to understand what Musashi meant by warrior. It's not just about being a tough guy with a sword. He talked about the twofold way, which is just brilliant. It means you have to master both the sword, your physical skill, your craft, and the pen, your mind, your intellect, your creativity. It's about being a complete, balanced master of your game.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because this isn't just for samurai. Musashi saw the exact same principles everywhere. Think about it, a master carpenter, someone who just instinctively knows their wood and tools. They're using the same strategic brain as a general leading an army. The way is the same. And that's the key here. This is a universal guide to being excellent at whatever you do. All right, so here's what we're going to cover. We're breaking down 5 huge lessons from the book. Be like water. Train for timing. Know your world. Conquer yesterday's self. And my personal favorite, eliminate all waste. Let's get into it. First up, we've got Lesson 1, the power of adaptability. Now, you've probably heard this one before. It's Musashi's most famous idea. He says the way of the warrior is to be like water. What does that mean? Well, it's not about being rigid or stuck in your ways. It's about being fluid, clear, and able to respond perfectly to whatever comes at you.
I mean, just think about it, right? Water can be a tiny trickle, quietly finding its way around any rock in its path. But it can also become a raging ocean, just this unstoppable, overwhelming force. The lesson? You have to match your energy to the situation. Don't be a one-trick pony, be formless, be adaptable, be ready for, well, anything.
So, that begs the question, right? How do you know when to be the trickle and when to be the ocean? And that leads us perfectly into Lesson 2. You have to train for timing. Yeah, and Musashi is super clear about this. That perfect timing, that gut feeling of exactly when to make your move, that is not a gift. No way. It's a skill, and it's forged in the fire of just relentless practice. There are 0 shortcuts here.
And his whole philosophy on training was intense. This isn't about hitting the gym for an hour and calling it a day. He said that to get that kind of quick, intuitive decision-making, you have to make training a part of your normal life. It's got to be like eating, like breathing. It just becomes who you are.
So once you've started building that internal skill, that timing, it's time to look outwards. And that brings us to Lesson 3, Know Your World. This one is so deep. He says, it is difficult to understand yourself if you do not understand others. Think about that. You can't figure yourself out in a vacuum. You have to study other people, other strategies, other ways of thinking. When you understand how the rest of the world ticks, that's when you get the perspective to see your own strengths and weaknesses clearly. Which, of course, leads us right into Lesson 4, which is maybe the most personal one of all, the path of continuous improvement. Musashi's advice here is amazing. He says, today it is victory over yourself of yesterday. Just let that sink in. Forget everyone else for a second. The real competition, the only one that matters every single day, is you versus the you from yesterday. The goal? Just be a tiny bit better, a little wiser, a little stronger. That's it. And then comes the second part of that quote, the payoff. Tomorrow, it will be victory over lesser men. See how that works? Once you get into the habit of beating your yesterday self, dealing with outside challenges just naturally follows. You master yourself first, and only then can you master anything, or anyone, else.
All right, our final lesson, Lesson 5. This is the one that really ties it all together with this laser-like focus, the discipline of purposeful action.
So Musashi lays out his whole way of strategy here. The way is in training. Become acquainted with every art. Perceive things you can't see. Pay attention to trifles. But look at that last one. Do nothing which is of no use. Wow. That's the ultimate rule, isn't it? It means every single thing you do, every thought you have, should have a purpose. If it's not moving you forward, it's waste. Get rid of it. And this quote just wraps it all up so perfectly.
Step by step, walk the 1,000-mile road. See, mastery isn't some big dramatic moment. It's a long, long journey. It's about taking one small, purposeful step after another every single day. That's how you get there, through that daily grind of improving, training, adapting, and cutting out all the junk.
So I want to leave you with a challenge, something right from Musashi's playbook. As you go about the rest of your day, I want you to ask yourself this, and be honest. What is one useless action you can eliminate today? What's one thing you can cut out to make your own 1,000-mile road just a little bit more direct?